This is your lunch. Now, you should be able to do whatever you want to with this, right? If you want to eat all of it, great. If you want to throw it away in the garbage, that's your prerogative. But here I come, the government. And I get to take 40% of your lunch. And that, Lauren, is how taxes work. It's never too early to learn that the government is a greedy piglet that suckles on a taxpayer's teat until they have sore, chapped nipples.
Hello there, and welcome to the show. The taxpayer. Isn't it lovely how you're suddenly in the news again? Everybody's talking about you. The media, politicians, people. It's almost like they really care about you.
Bullshit!
No, they don't. They don't actually give a shit about you. No. The reason that you're in the news is because it's budget speech time. You know, that time of the year where the government decides, well, wait, hold on. We want you to pay for more things. We're going to steal more money from you. Yes, that's where we are. And let me be perfectly clear. When I say the taxpayer, I mean the income taxpayer. You know, the person that has PAYE deducted from their salary at the end of the month. The 12% of the country who pretty much are the entrepreneurs. They start businesses, they make everything run, they work, they pay for everything. Infrastructure, everything that the government has to pay for is being paid for by the income taxpayer. They're the ones that are responsible for, making sure that 26 to 28 million people get free money from the government in social welfare. They're also the ones that are paying the politician, ministers. Pretty much everybody in government salary comes from the taxpayer. They're the ones paying for it. That 12% are also the ones that allow the government the money that they are able to steal. You know, the 1.5 trillion they've stolen in the last 5 years, that they're currently stealing, that we have no idea of how much it is. Yes, the taxpayer. I'm recording this today, the day that the budget speech was supposed to happen, but it got postponed. This is pretty much the first time ever. The reason it got postponed is because there was some infighting in the GNU, the Government of National Unity, super united on certain things, like the expropriation bill. Remember that one? What the situation was as well, the ANC wanted to increase VAT by 2%. And then the DA went, no, they're not happy with that. The thing that they care the most about is they don't want that extra burden, that extra tax burden on the poor. What about the taxpayer, the 12%? Jesus, no one seems to care about them. Thanks DA, thanks government. All we're just a black hole of let's take money from you. Oh. So I thought it would be pertinent to maybe have a look into the taxpayer. Let's just have an overlook of exactly what the taxpayer in this country is kind of responsible for, especially with increasing that by 2%. They're probably going to negotiate to 1%. But it's not just that. There's also the unending amount of corruption, the unending amount of money that the government steals. Apart from that, there's certain things that government wants to implement. Specifically, they want to implement NHI soon, which is going to cost an ungodly amount of money. No idea how we're going to pay for that. The other thing that they want to implement is 100 billion BE fund. No idea where they're going to get the money from that. Just for perspective, let's just go through some of these figures so you have an understanding of where we're at.
You smell that? What is that?
Opportunity.
No, money.
So right now, these are the tax stats for 2023 till 2024. The government brings in about 1.7 trillion rand. And that gets made up from income tax, corporate tax, VAT, and then other, which is export, shit like that. Income tax is the biggest ticket item, which is about 653 billion. It's what the government steals from taxpayers. The other part is corporate tax, which makes out about 317 billion. And then there's about 447 billion that comes through via VAT. I'm not going to really care about the other part.
You're completely sure of the math.
Yeah, I'm sure of the math.
Then there's one other caveat, which we probably should think about, which is how much debt the government has. The government is currently sitting at, and these are the stats from between 2023 and 2024, the debt stats are astronomical. The government owes something like 4.8 trillion. The debt repayment alone on that is R1 billion a day.
The difference between a million and a billion. A million seconds is how many days, would you guess? A million seconds. A million seconds is 11 days. How many days is a billion seconds? 31 years.
Now, hypothetically, if they had to implement a 2% tax, let's call it an extra 8 billion. It would affect everyone. Obviously, it would be worse for poor people, the ones who benefit the most from government spending. But that would mean nothing. It would basically cover 8 days of repayments. It's insane. There's no way that the government can fund any of this. Just to really zoom in on it, to explain to you the magnitude of this, the fact that there's 68 million people living in this country and 12% of them are paying income tax and pretty much most of corporate tax. That's an insane figure. You can even zoom in closer. 2.6% of South Africans pay 76% of all income tax. 2.6%. Are you insane? And here's the other kicker. 0.1% of companies, that's about 1,050 companies, pay 72% of all corporate tax. We're heading to idiocracy. This is so unsustainable, but no one cares. The government just carries on.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
A fellow Xer, Captain Obvious, brought up the following. I think it's a crime that an organization, government, all of it, responsible for wasting more of other people's money than any other organization in history is left to decide how much more money they want to extort without being held account for what they have already plundered. That is 100% the point I'm trying to make right here. It is absolutely insane that the government can just come along, have no responsibility, no accountability for the amount of money they've wasted, squandered, and just piss away. And they use that money to buy votes while paying themselves astronomical amounts of money. There is no way this is sustainable in any way. It's absolutely nuts. I don't know how we can keep this up. We have a government who has nothing but a history of theft, mismanagement, and destruction. Every single SOE is in squanders. It's broken. It doesn't work. It leaks money. And then on top of that, we're paying to bail out these government organizations. 30 years of communism has completely failed. There's no other way. The only thing keeping this country alive is capitalism, the thing that allows the 12% to pay the commies, to bail out the communist government that just gives everybody free shit and then doesn't work. It's beyond the pale. I don't know how these people, the 12%, how are they represented and they're being taxed? It makes no sense to me. Imagine the Titanic is sinking. That's the country. And the entire Titanic, all the people are hanging on for dear life on one raft, which is the 12%. Everybody's hanging on to this one raft of people. I don't know how we can continue this. It's not fucking sustainable. Communism is working. It's no, bitch. Communism is a failure. This is absolutely proof. The proof that you have a government in absolute squanders. You cannot tax a country into prosperity.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
It's insane. But here we are. Anyway, I actually want to say thank you. Thank you to the 12% of people who pay income tax, who pay the companies who pay corporate tax, the companies that make this entire country function. Thank you. The government should, every time they come out, they should go, thanks so much to the taxpayer for the following. They should actually, every time they pay for stuff, they should go, there should be a placard up saying, thanks to the taxpayer. Anyway, that's all I have. Thanks so much for watching. As always, if you've liked this, if you found it informative, please hit the like, subscribe, share it with your friends. If you didn't, thanks for sticking out this long. Most of all, please leave me a comment. Let me know how you feel about this, and I'll catch you guys again soon. Cheers.